Welcome to the Shakaama Live Show with your host, Shakaama. Do me a favor, just watch the entire video. You don't have to click thumbs up. You don't have to leave a comment. I mean, I'm not going to stop you from clicking thumbs up and leaving a comment. But I'm saying, if you do anything, I just want you to watch the entire video. If you watch the news right now, you will see this repeated. There was no red wave. There was no red tsunami. There was no red hurricane. I'm here to tell you there was a red wave. Well, there was a tsunami. There was a red hurricane. The thing is, your attention is being directed away from the thing that you're supposed to be paying attention to, right? It's like the photographer that says, look at the little birdie and say cheese, right? He doesn't want you to look straight on, because then when he goes to develop the film, you're going to get the whole demon eye, weird reflection inside of your pupil, and he doesn't want that. That's why they do that, right? So the mainstream media, and Fox News is a part of the mainstream media. I don't know who told you it's not. I don't know why you pay attention to people telling you that, Fox News and conservative news is overtaking everything. There's no such thing. There is mainstream media, and there's independent investigative journalists like me. And here's the deal. People like me submit their reports to the mainstream media, which pays us, right? So you get your news from the independent journalist, but if you listen to the mainstream, it's already gone through an editor and the person actually writing down the script on the little thing, and then the broadcaster, the anchor, the news anchor. There you go. If you pay attention, if you actually sat Fox News side by side CNN for a week, you would see that their stories are exactly the same. They use the same exact language. So, Shakaama, where's this red wave that you speak about? Well, just like the Fortune 500 doesn't dictate the economy of the United States because there's only 500 of those companies, the same thing applies to politics. The governors and the senators, there's only a handful of those people. Same with the economy. The ma and pa stores that actually employ 90% of the entire country. And when you hear stuff like, they hired 2,000 people. They fired 2,000 people. You go, oh my goodness. But there's 150 million other people who are working, who were fired, who were hired. That's who you need to be paying attention to, not the Fortune 500 companies. The Fortune 500 companies are so corrupt that they'll do this. When it comes time to make their financial reports, they will fire 50% of all of their employees. So when that check cuts, boom, they are in profit. They do their financial report, and guess what? It looks amazing. Oh my goodness, it's so fantastic. Their stock went up. And guess what happens the week after? They hire back 50% of the labor. And they do that over and over. They did that all through the Obama years. All through it. I paid attention. You don't have that information at your fingertips because you don't know where to look for that information. And that's okay. I'm going to pull a CNN right now. That's okay. You can trust me, right? Why can you trust me? Because I'm the one who submits the reports to CNN and to ABC, NBC, all those people, right? Surprise! I mean, they don't always print my stuff, but they do buy it. So that's all I care about, right? As long as you purchase the material, doesn't matter if you use it or not. I got my dollars, right? But you, the public, don't actually get to see the information. Why? Because a lot of times the information, and they'll sign an exclusive deal. You're only selling this to us. A lot of times the information is purchased just to keep it quiet, just so the general public doesn't know about it. And it goes against their narrative, and that's all that they care about. I want you to pay attention here. So just like the mom and pop stores actually employ 90% of the population, and they are the ones who actually keeps the economy going, not Wall Street, not Fortune 500 companies. not Goldman Sachs, not Bear Stearns. They don't dictate anything. Now, you can say that the banks do, but the banks are comprised of a whole bunch of ma and pa banks under the control of the Federal Reserve System, right? But here's the deal. The Federal Reserve System doesn't actually control something like, they only control like 40% of the banks. So even then, you're still not getting a good picture of quote unquote the economy. So this whole red wave thing that they keep saying didn't happen, and Shakaama is saying it did. What do you need to look at to see the red wave? You need to look at your local, state and local races down the ballot sheet, way down there. And in those, you get stuff like Moms for Liberty. Who's Moms for Liberty? Moms for Liberty are mothers who are of a conservative bent. They don't have to be conservative. They don't have to be Republican, but they are of a conservative bent. And it doesn't matter for this thing. It doesn't actually matter, because what's happening is these moms got elected to the school board, meaning they replaced all of the woke ideology people on the left, and they won to the tune of nearly 100%. So any school board that was up for grabs, up for election, they ran and they won. Like the Glenn Youngkin thing that paid attention to the parents actually won. There's your red wave. And these are going to be the people who actually are going to say, you need to educate the children, not indoctrinate the children. You need to educate the children. Now, is it the teachers union that's going to come against the school boards? No, they can't, because the school boards actually dictates doctrine. The school boards actually dictates policy. There's your red wave. You've been told not to don't pay attention to that. Pay attention to the birdie. There's your red wave, if you want to call it that. But for all intents and purposes, there's your red wave. It's quote unquote red, and it's quote unquote a wave. They nearly won like 100%, like I said. You're not going to hear this on the news. The news is going to direct you against everything. And now they're coming out with, Trump is against DeSantis. It's preposterous. Do not pay attention to anybody that says that. The two are not against each other. And then you're going to see clips that says, well, Trump said this. You need to, just like the left-leaning people say, you need to put it into context. You need to see the entire hour video clip, not the 2-second video clip. And the people who are saying that they are conservatives and they are also repeating that Trump is against DeSantis, you need to not pay attention to those people. There you have it. There was a red wave. It was tremendous. A red tsunami. It was tremendous. Tremendous. All across the nation. Now, as far as Arizona is concerned, the Secretary of State is running for governor against a Republican, right? The Secretary of State counts the ballots. Do you see a problem? And it's taking, like they said, it's going to take all the way to the 15th before they think they have a decision. Florida has 7 million people in it. Florida did its entire counting all in a few hours and had the result that night. DeSantis made his speech, and the other guy, Chris Kringle, I've forgotten his name. I don't know his name. He doesn't have a household name. He doesn't have a major recognition. I know the news repeats his name all the time, but he does not have name recognition. He conceded, and then they went home and went to bed. That's what happened. Meanwhile, in Arizona and Nevada, I'm in Nevada. Meanwhile, in Arizona and Nevada, they're saying, we're still counting. We have 600,000. Oh, no. Now it's 400,000 ballots to count. Florida counted 7 million in a few hours. Okay, several hours. What are you doing? Who's doing the counting? The Secretary of State. Oh, really? For all reports on that race for governor of Arizona, everybody is saying, as soon as you get to the walk-in votes, so they're counting the mail-in votes. As soon as you get into the walk-in votes, it's going to be over because the mail-in votes has the Secretary of State up by 20,000 votes. The walk-in votes are nearly 200,000 votes, and a majority of those were Republican, because that's what happened. The Republicans do not believe in mail-in votes, so they didn't do the mail-in votes. Well, for the most part, they didn't do the mail-in votes. I think like maybe 30% probably did do a mail-in vote. But the Republicans all showed up and voted in person because they believe in ID and showing their ID and making sure, absolutely sure, that they are the person that who they say they are, and doing their civic duty to vote, right? When they get to those votes, they're everybody, every reporter worth their salt is saying that Kari Lake is going to win. Meanwhile, they then took a look at the California vote for governor, and they said that Gavin Newsom was declared the winner while they had pictures of hundreds of thousands of walk-in votes in duffel bags or satchels, big, huge, like military satchels, that were uncounted. And they said, those are the walk-in votes. It seems that that was that same situation, but you were not allowed to question it at the time. So then you have Gavin Newsom as the governor, declared governor. You know, a lot of times you have states where you have a Republican governor, but the state itself is actually mostly run by Democrats. It's very common, or shall I say, it is not uncommon. Then you have people like the mayor of New York, who points out, oh, look at all of these Republican places. They have all sorts of Republican states. They have all sorts of crime in the states, right? Then you take a look and you see Republican governor. Who's in the cities? Democrats. Democrats control most of the major populations, major cities. Democrats stranglehold, complete stranglehold, and they keep redrawing the line to make sure that they stay in power. They can't say, White Hills neighborhood is a voting population, although if you sectioned off White Hills, it would be first of all a cohesive place where everybody who lives in White Hills shares a commonality, but then you'll get stuff like black men who are conservative who live in White Hills who are going to dominate the electorate of that particular area. And they don't want that. So they divide up White Hills into like 7 different districts, voting districts. And there you have it. There was, in fact, a red wave. Thank you.